Okay, I'm about to make chicken pot pie filling. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna melt 4 tablespoons of butter into my large skillet. Okay, my butter has melted. So what I did was I cut up 2 stalks of celery, 2 whole carrots, and 1 medium onion. And I'm just gonna add that to my butter and saute it. And I'm just gonna saute all this until it gets soft. Okay, so the celery and onions and the carrots have softened. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 2 medium chicken breasts that I've cut up in little pieces. I cut them up in little pieces. And I'm also gonna add to my chicken, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves. One tablespoon of fresh thyme leaves. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of salt. And 1 tablespoon of ground pepper. And I'm just going to mix it in. And I'm just going to cook my chicken. I'm going to mix my spices in. Mix my spices in. And then I'm going to cook it. I'm going to cook it until my chicken starts to brown. After I've added all my spices, I'm going to cook it until the chicken turns white, until the chicken is done. Okay, so as you can see, my chicken is nice and white and well done. As you know it's done because you can take it, you can split it with the rubber spatula. That's how you know it's done. See how it splits? It'll split in half with just a rubber spatula. So my chicken is now done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour to my chicken, or to my mixture. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm just going to stir it in. And I'm going to cook it until it thickens a little bit. As you can see, it's starting to thicken a little bit. I'm going to cook it until it thickens. Yep, and it's already thickened. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of frozen peas. Three-fourths of a cup. Of frozen peas. just gonna mix that in. Incorporate those peas, let it cook a little bit. Let those peas cook a little bit that I've incorporated. It smells amazing. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to remove it from the heat. And I'm going to just let it cool for like a minute or so. I'm just going to let it cool off. For about a minute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on the heat. And I'm going to add 1 cup of chicken broth. I'm going to add 1 cup of chicken broth. And 1.5 cups of milk. One and a half cups of milk. Okay, and I'm just gonna let this cook. I'm gonna let this cook till it becomes like gravy a little bit. Let this cook until it becomes like a gravy. Okay, so my sauce has thickened. This is what the consistency you want your sauce to be. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pie crust that I made, and there's a separate video for that, how to make and roll pie crust. Hold on, I'm just gonna flip this because it's 2 layers to it. I'm just gonna take the pie crust that I made. And then I'm just gonna pour this into my pie crust. I'm gonna pour my filling into my crust. I'm just gonna pour my filling into my crust. Just be careful not to overfill it. Careful not to overfill it. Then I'm just gonna put my pie crust on top of it. Because this is a double layer pie. I'm just gonna put my pie crust came apart because I left it in the refrigerator for a while. So it came apart a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to re-roll it. I'm just gonna have to quickly re-roll it. and just flatten it out a little bit. And just place it on top of my pie. I'm just going to re-roll it out a little bit. Okay, yeah, so I just had to re-roll my pie crust, you know, to make it fit over top of my pie. I just had to re-roll it because it fell apart a little bit. So I just had to redo it, you know, which is fine because I had to sit in the refrigerator anyway. So now I'm just going to put it in my oven and I'm going to bake this at 420 degrees for about 40 minutes. And that's what you want. That's your chicken pot pie.